So today we are at Mattie's Tavern in the beautiful Santa Ynez Valley in Los Olivos, and we're going to find Chef Rhoda, the head chef here at Mattie's Tavern. All right, let's try and find Rhoda. Chef Rhoda.
Where's Chef Rhoda?
Where's Chef Rhoda? Look at this fabulous kitchen.
Wow, look at this.
Around here somewhere. Oh,
Hi, Chef Rhoda.
hi, Chef.
How are you?
Good.
Thanks so much for inviting us to see behind the scenes in your fantastic. Yeah, so great. Okay, we're between two shifts right now.
Yep, we are.
All right, well, we're going to find a little place to go and have a chat. So you lead the way.
Okay.
All right.
Come on, ladies. So this is our wicker room.
The wicker room.
Yep. We're setting up for a private event this evening.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah, really lovely.
It's like a pavilion.
It is. So nice.
And have a seat.
Thank you.
Of course.
Hi, Rhoda. Hi, Chef Rhoda.
Oh, hello.
How are you? So we are here at Mattie's Tavern in the Santa Ynez Valley, and we're interviewing Chef Rhoda Magbitang. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So it's really lovely to meet you, and I've been very lucky to have eaten here just before I left to go to England in the summer. So it was an absolute treat, and that dessert, still dreaming about it. So can you give us a little background on how you got started in the food business and when you became the chef at Mattie's Tavern?
It's kind of a long-winded story, but as it all, all of it is. I started cooking professionally. It was really funny story because I went to school totally unrelated to cooking, and then I just realized that I didn't want to do that anymore, and then I started teaching preschool, and then I started doing an after-school program for the kids, teaching them how to make snacks.
Okay.
And for some reason, it turned into this whole, well, I can do this professionally.
Where was that?
It was in Toluca Lake in the valley, in San Fernando Valley. And so that prompted me to go to culinary school, and with a full intention of going back to teaching. And I worked at my first restaurant, and I kind of never looked back.
What was your first restaurant?
My first restaurant, I did my externship at Melis's restaurant in Santa Monica. Very, very fine dining at the time. It was one of the best restaurants to work at. It still is, I believe. And then left that experience and started working at AOC for Susanne Goin.
Yes.
And totally different experience. Made me fall in love even more with cooking and food and farmers markets and all that stuff. So.
And when did you start here? When did?
And fast forward, I guess 12 years later, I had lived in Vegas, moved back to LA. I got a call one day. This was in 2021 in March.
Oh wow!
2021.
So pandemic.
During pandemic, yeah, we're still in the thick of it. I got a call from, at the time, the vice president of food and beverage for Ermitage, and it was one of those conversations that you'll kind of never forget, where this lady who was just talking so confidently about this project, and I was like, where is this place? Like, what am I doing? And, like a couple weeks later, I met with Dave, our general manager, here when it was still
Under construction.
In full construction mode, dust. All they had was, a vision, a plan, and a lot of really great, very ambitious culinary program within the project. So I just basically agreed to go full on, and actually before I even got the job. Before I got the job, how do you say that? Like, before I signed my contract, or I basically just quit my other job because I was like, I love this project so much.
Wow.
That I don't think that I would even be okay with working here at my current place,
Right.
knowing that I didn't get that.
Yeah.
So I just basically like put in my notice without it being official.
Wow, that's amazing. Leap
Yeah.
of faith.
It was-
I was going to say that is a leap of faith.
It was
That's-
very stupid at the time, but I was like, I just had a really good feeling. I know this is what I wanted, and fast forward 2 years later, we're here.
That's amazing. That's a
So
great story.
when did the restaurant open?
We opened for dinner November of last year.
Okay, so we're coming up on a year.
Yep.
And so, we're going to ask this a two-part question now. So, how has the year been, and what does a typical day in the kitchen look like?
The year has been very good. Me, the biggest challenge this year has been just keeping up with everything that's going on. Basically, like having all these outlets to open, having like you know like within this really small property with 7 different food outlets is yep.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. So we have within this building there's 3. So we have the bar, we have the restaurant, which is breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then we have this room, which is the Wicker Room, which is open all day, well, from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. So gradually having to open all these new outlets.
So they didn't open all at the same time.
No, they
No.
didn't.
So you had
Which is
a staged, yes, obviously, because otherwise
which is
that would have been
very-
brutal.
Yeah, which is very fortunate for us because there's no way that we would have been able to keep up with everything. It was a lot of different menus.
And then, so you said in this building there's 3, and then what the other?
We have an outdoor restaurant called Jin's Cat Bar, which is more of like Asian inspired menu, and it's more like snacks. It's open 4 days a week, from 5 to 9 p.m. Thursday through Sunday.
Wow.
And then do you have a pool? Is a pool another outlet?
And the
Yes.
pool is another outlet. So right now we are fully open as far as all of our culinary outlets. We're just kind of trying to like fine tune everything else.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Typical day for me, I would say when I get here, sometimes typically in the morning, I say hi to everybody, just make sure like everyone's aware I'm here, and just kind of like check emails, respond to them. So like sometimes like checking emails
All the
and
paperwork
responding to
takes
them
forever.
is a whole different story.
Yes.
And then and kind of like checking in like what events we have going on for the day, making sure that everything is basically like going where they need to go, placed where they need to be placed, and things like that.
Okay.
It's
well,
very
yes.
overarching.
Well, I'm
Right.
sure. Obviously, every day has its own rhythm. You've got a big team here. How many people are in the kitchen? do you think?
Right now I think we have over 40. That's
Wow.
including all of our stewards, dishwashers, porters.
Wow, that's not very many for that many outlets.
It's not that very many, but we are operating from 2 different kitchens right now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That makes it.
Yeah,
Makes it
a lot easier, and it's a lot more continuity. And as far as training, it's better.
Got it.
So for you, what was the appeal of becoming a chef? I mean, you had gone down this one path and then you went in another direction. What do you think is the appeal?
I ask myself that every day. What is the appeal?
It chose you. You did not choose it.
I think what it is, if we can be very sort of just like sentimental about it. The nurturing part of cooking is something that I was really drawn towards. I grew up in a really big family, as I feel like a lot of people in this business kind of, like start saying. But yeah, I grew up in a big family, and we're all girls, and my mom, my dad went away for work, so he's gone most of the time, and my mom would divide, chores between all of us. And
how many of you are there?
So I have 4 sisters and a brother.
Wow.
I'm the oldest, so I ended up getting dibs on what I wanted to do as far as chores. And growing up, we didn't have a washer and dryer. Like everything has to be, like all of our clothes had to be washed by hand. And like my sisters, like 3 of my sisters were babies when we were growing up. Babies when we were, that sounded funny, but they were a lot younger than I. And so fed them, clothed them, took care of them, and then I cooked. So I just cooked for my family, and it was just really enjoyable. I think the fact that you're basically it's the most generous thing that you can do for someone. It's like feed them.
An expression of love. I always feel like cooking is an expression of love.
Yeah.
People
Absolutely.
that can't say I love you, they show it through the way that they cook for you, the way
That's
that they
that's why grandmas are the best.
Yeah.
They always. My grandma doesn't ask me how I am. Like she always asks me if I've eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Did you eat? I know. First thing I did when I went to visit my daughter was open her fridge to see what was in it.
So you've touched lightly on the challenges of staffing within the restaurant industry, but what are some of the other challenges of working in the restaurant industry?
I think one of the biggest ones, I guess it goes under the umbrella of staffing, is people management. I always say this, or someone said this to me. Cooking is easy. People are hard.
True story.
It's the I think I can make decent food, but if I can't train my staff, or how to even how to, from properly labeling things to storing to seasoning the food to making sure things are cooked properly, all that stuff, and beyond that, managing, at the end of the day, we're a business, managing their hours, making sure they're taking their breaks, making sure it's kind of it's such a big umbrella when it comes to just staff, and that's truly what it is that's 70% of the time that I'm here, is just making sure I'm managing the people that are working under me, and it's honestly we got very, very lucky with our guys here.
So I mean, maybe the timing of this was fortuitous, but and we've asked everybody this question about the impact of COVID and how that affected everybody's business and everything. But you were under construction here during that time. But have there been any lasting effects from that? In conversations that we've had, people have said the question of staffing and being able to find staff, particularly since COVID, has been very difficult.
Yeah, I think if I'm going to be very candid with this answer, I think the lasting effect of COVID that I can still kind of feel is just people's work ethic isn't the same. I think we were kind of in that short period of time, relatively during COVID, what happened was people learned how to survive with just enough in order for them to live off of, and not necessarily, just be okay with where they are, and yeah, that's it. And maybe that's existed before, but I think it kind of got amplified during and even after.
Still to this day.
COVID. To this day, you can see.
Right.
And in the kitchen, it's not an easy job. It's not, like, I don't know why people do it. I don't know why I do it, but it's, it stems from something, I think, sort of primal to all of us. Because, like, you ultimately have to learn how to feed yourself at some point, one way or another. But the ambition to do really well and do something and get really, really good at it has been weaning a little bit in the past years. Not that I'm, ambitious enough to like change that culture.
But do you think that has something to do maybe with social media and how I feel like a lot of social media, they make it look easy, and I think there's almost been like a de-skilling of the industry because of social media. And obviously you can do a TikTok video in 2 minutes, whereas I have my children telling me how to do things better because they watch a TikTok video.
100%. And, oh my goodness! I mean, how annoying, right? It's you can watch a 10-second video of someone making a
souffle.
A souffle or what do you call those things that are wrapped in pastry? I was just
the en croûte.
Like a beef Wellington.
The beef Wellington. Like it's like, of course people are gonna think like this is so easy.
Highly edited.
Yes. so edited, but like we're not thinking that way anymore. So I don't know. I you're absolutely right. Social
COVID, and COVID upended so many things, and just you look how many companies have decided not to bring their staff back to an office, and people are working remotely, which then makes changes in how people's everyday lives go and how
it affects local business and restaurants because if people aren't going to work, then I mean, it's like we all exist in little ecosystems.
We really did.
Yeah.
But like I think as far as my staff goes, it's knock on wood. It's been a really great trajectory from when we opened to where we are now. A lot of openings that I have been a part of, be it hotels or restaurants, the turnover rate for staff is very, very high, and I've probably lost like maybe 7 people in the past,
over the year.
Yeah.
That's very good.
And it's very good.
It's very good. Yeah. So, next question. What is one thing that you don't like or really did not like doing that you have now come to love?
I think desserts.
I'm not offended by that at all, Chef Rhoda.
Honestly, it's because if you're kind of like raised in around the time when I first started cooking, pastry chefs are a different breed.
We are, yes.
Than savory cooks. It's almost like they might as well be from a different planet. And there's always this like just thing because I worked in very kind of cutthroat kitchens where like you don't mess with the pastry chef's mise en place. You can't even.
Sandra has made this comment many times.
Yeah,
willing to fight for plastic containers.
Yes. Well, and so when I opened this place, we didn't have a dedicated pastry chef, which was totally fine. I knew I had a couple of recipes up my sleeve, and I know we can execute it well, and I knew like doing a souffle for an opening was really a terrible idea, but we've been making it work since.
You nailed it. It's delicious.
What's in the souffle?
It's just a chocolate souffle.
Okay, chocolate souffle.
It's not just a chocolate souffle.
And so yeah, like I think, and now I kind of like find myself getting really excited putting together a dessert dish
That's
I
great.
know that
That's
I
great.
really like. And I'm not a big sweets person, and so like I'd rather really end my meal with like a piece of cheese or something. But now I'm finding myself more and more being like just so indulgent with it.
Okay, so speaking of things that you're indulgent about and things that you like, is there a food or drink that you love that you won't admit to eating?
Good. That is good.
We've had some interesting answers to this.
We have some great answers.
So many things. I have a few things, and I have no shame.
Good for you.
That's good. There should be no shame about.
Yeah. I mean, I would admit it. Like if I go to like a store like El Rancho, and maybe there's like a new batch of corn dogs that are on the display, like like maybe I'll grab a couple.
Yeah.
Or I really love fried chicken. It's one of those things that I just cannot. Like sometimes when I get a craving for it, I have to have it. KFC is kind of like my go-to. It's just some really like just trashy, good fast food.
Okay.
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets. I love that.
Yeah.
All right.
So then, what would you like to see as a food or drink trend, or not?
Or something to go away. We've had a couple of people say
Yeah, that's a good one.
there were a few things they wanted to go away.
I would like to. I mean, I haven't really seen it that often anymore. But the duos, like like plates, like if you like a duo of scallop or a duo of lamb or a duo of
Something two ways. Yeah.
Something two ways, like
Yeah.
or I don't know. It's so funny. I have a couple in my head. I don't know if I should say it, but.
Oh, now we want to tease them out.
I know. Let's see. I mean, I went to this restaurant over the weekend, and it was really fantastic. This is gonna air, right? Or yeah. Anyway, it's up north, and I was looking at their menu, and overall, like probably one of the better meals I've had in a long time. But man, the portion sizes, I would like for, I don't know why, like I understand, costs and everything. Like I work in the business, but if you're gonna charge me like $7 for something, and I'm here thinking like, oh my goodness, that's such a great deal. Like, what a great price point. And it's like less than the bite. Like just charge me $15 for it and make it substantial.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Meager portions.
Meager portions, just, and I don't know. Like I guess it's just like my mentality. I came from a really big family. I can't cook for less than 2 people. It's just not possible for me. And
You want to have food on that plate.
I would like to.
Yes.
Yeah. Like that's kind of what you would expect if you go to a restaurant.
Yeah, you go this week, right?
Okay, so some fun questions for you.
So, what is always in your fridge at home? And then, what are the top 3 ingredients, and what would you make with them?
Fridge at home. I always have butter, no matter what. I'll do butter. 3 ingredients: some kind of pasta, garlic, lemon.
Dish right there.
A dish right there.
Yeah.
I love pasta.
Okay.
Yes.
And
A good pasta dish. I'm up for a good pasta
I'm
dish.
American Italian, so I know all about pasta.
Yeah.
Lots of it. So, if you were stuck on a desert island
Uh-huh.
and you had 2 things, potatoes or bread,
Which one?
which one?
How old's the bread?
Yeah.
I mean,
No one has asked that question before.
no one has asked that question.
No one has asked.
Only a chef would answer that question.
Well, no one, and then it's a question of, potatoes. How did you get the potatoes? But anyway, you have a choice: potatoes or bread.
Unlimited amount of potatoes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do potatoes.
We've got to do a poll at the end of this.
Yes, we're going to.
because,
Yes.
I'm team potatoes.
And I'm
Team bread.
I'm team bread. At least I was team bread, and now I'm reconsidering my.
Yeah.
Potatoes, so many possibilities.
There's so many. You can make potato bread.
You
Yes.
can make
You can't make bread out of potatoes.
No.
Or
No.
potatoes out of bread.
French fries, mashed potatoes,
Yeah, exactly.
pomme macaire,
Oh.
dauphine. I mean, just,
Yeah, but then we have this question about okay, you want to make all those things. So obviously there's butter and there's.
I mean, obviously, we just
It is a
started with the
hypothetical,
basic-
yes.
hypothetical.
I
and we're
know,
not
I know.
talking about the logistics of it. And this is your last and final question.
Okay, so if you had a fairy food mother, what would be your wish for your business,
Or for you as a chef.
or for you as a chef?
I would like for this mythical person to grant me more opportunities to travel so I can come back with ideas for this place, and also to basically just be the angel on all of my staff's shoulder to ensure that they're taking their breaks on time.
That's great.
That's lovely.
I know. It's so funny. Can you tell? I just came back from a budget meeting.
Yeah. No, yeah.
That
it's
is
true.
great.
That's great. Well, thank you so much, Chef Rhoda. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet and chat with you. And
Yeah.
we look forward to coming in and trying that just a chocolate souffle.
Yes, I want to try the Just a Chocolate Souffle. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You ladies are fantastic.
Thanks.
Thank you.
With